La FIL Guadalajara está llena de sorpresas. El día de hoy tengo el grandísimo honor y placer de encontrarme al lado de Morten Peter Meldal, quien es premio Nobel de química por una de las investigaciones que tienen que ver con la química click. El día de hoy platicaremos con él acerca un poco de sus aportes, cómo es la vida de un científico, así que quédense. Él, como no habla español, vamos a platicarlo en inglés, pero tienen los subtítulos ahí para entender todo lo que estamos diciendo. Morten, it's a real pleasure to be here with you. And, well, I am a kid that has been always interested in science, so it's a huge pleasure to be here with you. Nice to meet you, Peter.
Yes, very nice to be here at the book fair and with the university. I am very happy to be here in Mexico for the first time. And in Denmark, I also have a lot of reach out for, you said you had an interest for science as a kid. I have a lot of reach out for, in particular for the young people and the kids to come to science and be interested in chemistry, because chemistry is everything.
Yeah, and chemistry, it's one of the parts of the science that allow us to understand our world, our nature, the universe also. So you made some really important advances in chemistry that are related with click chemistry. Can you tell us a little bit about what is this click chemistry, please?
Yeah, so click chemistry is a very easy way to combine molecules. So now if you have a molecule that has one function here and a molecule that has another function over here, you can make them like a small molecular robot. You can click them together like Lego. So you have these two Lego building blocks, you're clicking them together and they become one molecule with two functions. That, for example. But there are many other ways you can use the click to build architectures of molecules. And that's new shapes that we've never seen before, new materials with new properties that we have never seen before.
And which applications can we see because of this click chemistry? Can we use it for, I don't know, maybe medicine or something? Why is it useful for us? How can it impact in our lives?
Yeah, so it is actually used a lot to produce new kinds of medicines, and most big companies that produce medicines have a section that does click chemistry, simply because it's possible to do molecules with functions that we've never been able to combine before. And also, I think that it will have a great impact in material sciences. And the reason is that you can do very fragile molecules, very strange molecules, and put them on a surface, for example, to make solar cells or to make a particular kind of protection of the surface with these like paint on boats or airplanes and stuff like that. So you can really do a lot with click chemistry.
Well, that sounds really interesting, and well, I think that your story is something really interesting for people like me that want to be a scientist when we grow up. So how would you tell us that, how was Peter when he was younger and used to like science and started to do chemistry? How was this beginning of you as a scientist?
Yeah, I was a very lucky kid because I had a nature reserve at my grandparents' farm where I could go and play as a kid. So I was out at 7 in the morning and I was in late at night. And I lived with nature. I built my huts in the trees and made the weapons and all of that stuff that kids likes to do. But also I was observing the nature and I was really wondering about how beautiful the nature is and how can that be that all these different organisms coexist so well and make this beauty that we all admire when we come to something which is pristine in nature. We all are taken aback with that. It's really, really beautiful.
I think that when we are in touch with nature, we actually are sometimes more curious about how our world works.
Exactly.
And I think that a scientist's life, it's really busy in some labs thinking about explaining our world. How would you tell us that it's to be a scientist like you, between a lab, between also giving some talks? I don't know, you came here to Guadalajara to give a prize for young students. So how it's a life of a great scientist like you?
Yeah, so the connection between philosophy and science is very important. And I think that a good scientist really has this philosopher's background where you go and think about what life really is and what the world is, what can you do to improve life as well. And I think that for my part, it is very clear that life is inherent in the chemistry. So the atoms and the molecules that they build cannot help to make life. They will make life whenever the conditions are there. So wherever you will have conditions like you have here on Earth, this will happen. Maybe not look exactly like we do, but out there there's hundreds and hundreds of places where you have life, in my opinion.
And well, yeah,
And that's a good inspiration for people to know that chemistry is not only about profitable companies and so on. It's also about understanding our existence.
yes, of course. And I think that chemistry is also this connection between some theoretical science like physics that are sometimes a lot of math in it, and the connection with also biology, right? What we have in our world that it's with life, right? And how I want to know, because I think that the people that is watching us sometimes wants also to be a scientist. And how is a day in Peter's life? You go to a university, go to a lab. I don't know. I mean, like pretty busy. And I want to know how's the life of a scientist like that.
Yeah, so I'm very, very happy and very privileged to have a lot of young people in my group. So they are like kids for me, like a family. We are working together to solve problems every day, and I look up to them for their fresh minds and brains, and they look up to me for my knowledge, and that's a really, really good combination. So for me, a driving force, a great driving force, is actually to go to the lab and be with my young people, learning what they are doing and inspiring them for the next step.
All right. Well, I think that it must be really nice to be understanding the world, like by the chemistry, and well. How do you feel that this that thing that it started? I can imagine by being curious, actually made you get to the high leagues of a scientist by this Nobel Prize that you won.
Yeah, so I was actually working on trying to make what is called combinatorial chemistry work. So we were working since the beginning of the 90s to make all the basic developments that is necessary to make millions of compounds and use nature's own principle for selecting the good ones. That's called combinatorial chemistry. And we were working on that aspect, all aspects of that. And one of the things that we did in this process, a very small fraction of it, was the click chemistry. But all of that was really, really interesting chemistry, actually. So that actually has built an entire platform which we use still today and which comes up with a lot of scientific results.
Well, Peter, what would you tell to those?
It's Morten, but it's also Peter.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Morten. What would you tell to these young people that want to become scientists like you? To keep having questions. I don't know. What do you think that it's an important part to become a scientist? What would you tell to them?
Yeah, understand your life and see where it goes, and do the things that are most important for you all the time. I don't think that you necessarily need to do chemistry, but chemistry is a very, very good starting point for so many different other things. It doesn't matter whether you are going to be a carpenter or you're going to be working with concrete. You're gonna know some chemistry in order to make the best concrete and the best carpentry work. It could also be that you want to be a politician, understanding the environmental problems we have, the global warming and the effects of that. It's very important if you want to be a politician that makes the right decisions and not drill, 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 baby.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Morten, for giving time for this interview. As I said, it's a real pleasure to be talking to you, so thank you so much. And welcome to Mexico.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, gracias por acompañarnos a lo largo de esta entrevista y continuaremos en la Feria Internacional del Libro de Guadalajara. Thank you, Morten.
Thank you.